Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. As we move through life, we meet all kinds of people. Some of them lift us up, inspire us, make us better, and help us see the world in ways we couldn't on our own. But then there are others, people who pull us down, drain us, and divert us from our path. In Stoicism, one of the greatest strengths is understanding when it's time to let certain people go, when it's time to walk away, quietly, with purpose and dignity, all in the name of peace. Letting people go doesn't have to be dramatic, loud, or angry. A wise person, guided by the Stoic principles of self-respect, strength, and tranquility, knows that sometimes the most powerful response is a silent one. The Stoics believed that peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the power of guarding our inner world, of not allowing negativity, disrespect, or exploitation to take root within us. He taught that we should hold firm, standing by our own principles and boundaries, regardless of others' reactions. Today, we're going to talk about 3 types of people a Stoic might choose to distance from, silently and calmly, for the sake of their own peace, purpose, and growth. Whether you're looking for peace in your relationships, strength in your boundaries, or a life guided by purpose rather than other people's expectations, you're in the right place. Let's explore the Stoic approach to creating space for what truly matters and let go of what doesn't. Stick around, because by the end, you'll have a clear understanding of the silent strength that comes from choosing your peace. Let's get started. Recognizing who drains and who lifts. Peace isn't just a quiet moment. It's a steady state we cultivate through careful choices about who and what we let into our lives. For the Stoics, peace was foundational to a well-lived life. Marcus Aurelius emphasized protecting our inner world, building an inner fortress against disruptions. In our fast-paced world, defending that inner calm is a challenge. Often, it's not the big crises that drain us, but rather subtle daily interactions with people who subtly pull us off track. Epictetus, who endured much hardship, knew peace wasn't about controlling external events, but choosing how close we allow people or situations to get. For the Stoics, cultivating peace was our personal responsibility, even if it meant making difficult decisions about the people around us. Why do we let our peace slip away so easily? We often feel obliged to be available to everyone, fearing conflict or disappointment. But Stoicism teaches that this isn't sustainable and doesn't honor our own journey. Allowing just anyone into our inner world shows a lack of self-respect, and for Stoics, protecting peace is a form of self-respect. Seneca cautioned that others' negativity or drama could infiltrate our minds, disrupting our calm and steering us away from what truly matters. The Stoic approach to peace doesn't mean isolating ourselves. It's about being intentional, asking if a relationship or commitment supports our purpose. If not, it's wise to step back, not out of anger, but out of clarity. Peace is about aligning life with our values and releasing what distracts us from them. Imagine treating your mind as a sacred space that deserves to be filled with clarity and purpose. Just as we care for our physical health, we should avoid filling our minds with others' chaos. Marcus Aurelius would remind us to examine each interaction and decide if it brings calm or disrupts it. This isn't selfish, it's about preserving our energy to live authentically. Setting boundaries is crucial to maintaining inner peace. The Stoics viewed boundaries not as barriers out of resentment, but as respectful limits that say, "This is where I end and you begin." Epictetus advised never to compromise our inner calm for others. Saying no or stepping back is not about rejection, but about keeping the space necessary for personal growth. When we set boundaries, we are affirming our values. Some may misinterpret these actions as cold, but Stoics like Marcus Aurelius knew that we're only responsible for our actions, not others' reactions. True peace comes from acting in line with our values, regardless of others' interpretations. A vital aspect of Stoic peace is letting go of the need to justify ourselves. When we choose peace, we often feel compelled to explain or defend our choices, but Stoicism teaches that self-approval is enough. Seneca encouraged avoiding over-communicating our virtues, reminding us that our boundaries need no validation from others. Knowing a choice supports our peace is reason enough. By embracing this path, we allow space for relationships and activities that truly nourish us, freeing our energy from managing drama or explaining ourselves. Instead, we focus on people who respect our values and on pursuits that align with our purpose. This is where genuine peace thrives, surrounded by connections and activities that reflect who we truly are. Let's delve into 3 types of people. It may be wise to distance yourself from quietly and with composure. Number 1. The Perpetual Negative Thinker. The perpetual negative thinker is someone who consistently sees the worst in everything, casting shadows over joy, excitement, and optimism. While we all have off days, their constant negativity can become contagious, affecting even the strongest minds. Epictetus highlighted that we become what we give our attention to, underscoring the Stoic belief in guarding our inner environment. When we expose ourselves to negativity too often, it can lead us to doubt our own path, eroding our confidence and resilience. Stoicism emphasizes that peace and clarity come from maintaining a healthy mental space, free from unnecessary negativity. Though some might argue that negative thinkers are simply realistic, Stoicism makes a clear distinction between realism and pessimism. Realism involves seeing things objectively, without fear or exaggeration. Pessimism, however, expects the worst without evidence, creating self-imposed obstacles. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears," pointing out that focusing on negativity invites unnecessary suffering. Perpetual negative thinkers distort our perception of what's possible, making even simple goals feel insurmountable. Over time, negativity plants seeds of doubt that can grow into insecurities and fears, hindering personal growth. Seneca advised associating with those who inspire and uplift, as negative thinkers create an environment of limitation and fear. However, distancing oneself from negativity doesn't mean a lack of compassion. Stoicism teaches the importance of boundaries, allowing us to protect our peace without resenting others. Epictetus reminds us that we are only responsible for our own thoughts and actions, not for changing someone else's mindset. By limiting our exposure to negativity, we respect our well-being, ensuring that our goals are unburdened by others' fears. Imagine the mind as a clear pond, calm and reflective. Each time a negative thinker shares doubts or complaints, it's like tossing a stone into the pond, creating ripples that disturb the peace. One stone might be manageable, but constant disruptions prevent the pond from settling. To protect our inner peace, Stoicism advocates practical measures like setting boundaries and choosing not to share dreams with those who consistently doubt. It's not about rejecting others, but about preserving a space where purpose and joy can flourish without interference. In distancing from negativity, we often find our outlook lightens, becoming more open and hopeful. Stoicism doesn't ignore challenges, but encourages focusing on what we can control and cultivating what is good and meaningful. By protecting our peace, we create a nurturing environment for optimism and resilience, enabling us to face real challenges without being weighed down by others' imagined fears. A Stoic recognizes that choosing to step back from a perpetual negative thinker is about honoring one's own journey. Life naturally presents challenges. Adding unnecessary burdens from those who see only obstacles detracts from our strength. Calmly distancing ourselves from negativity is not a rejection of others, but an acceptance of our need for peace to thrive. By prioritizing inner clarity and purpose, we ensure that we remain on a path aligned with what truly matters. Number 2. The kindness exploiter. The kindness exploiter is someone who sees your generosity as a resource they're entitled to. Initially, they ask for small favors, leaning on you in times of need, which, as a caring person, you're happy to provide. However, over time, it becomes apparent that this support is one-sided. Your kindness, rather than being appreciated, is expected, and when you need support, they're nowhere to be found. Stoic wisdom encourages us to recognize and address these imbalances, not out of resentment, but from self-respect and the need to preserve our well-being. Seneca emphasized that we wouldn't give all our money away to anyone. So why should we deplete our emotional energy on people who only take without reciprocating? In Stoic philosophy, kindness is a virtue, a strength, but it's also meant to be practiced with wisdom. Epictetus taught that kindness should align with our principles and be shared with caution to avoid exploitation. When someone constantly sees your kindness as a weakness to be used, they're not valuing you as a person, but as a resource. These individuals may subtly make you feel obligated, reminding you of past favors, appealing to your empathy, and often using guilt to sway you. Stoicism, however, teaches us to see through such tactics. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we are each responsible for our own lives, choices, and happiness. Helping others is good, but it isn't our duty to bear the entire burden of another's life, especially if they're capable of standing on their own. Setting boundaries with kindness exploiters can feel challenging because it seems contrary to being compassionate. However, Stoicism teaches that boundaries are necessary to protect our well-being. Epictetus emphasized the importance of self-sufficiency, urging us to recognize when someone's reliance on us disrupts our peace. Helping others should be a fulfilling experience, not one that drains us. If a relationship consistently costs us more than it gives, then something is out of balance. This is much like the principle of putting on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. You can only truly support others if you have stability yourself. The kindness exploiter, however, ignores this principle, taking your time and energy without concern for your needs. For them, kindness isn't a gift, but a service they feel entitled to. Stoicism teaches that kindness shouldn't lead to self-sacrifice or suffering. When someone's constant dependence leaves you feeling depleted, it's a signal to set boundaries. A Stoic response to a kindness exploiter involves creating silent boundaries. There's no need for confrontation. Instead, begin to say no more often or limit time spent with them. These boundaries aren't punishment, but a form of self-respect. Seneca advised nurturing relationships that contribute to our growth. When someone only takes, they don't foster growth, but instead stifle it. A Stoic gracefully disengages from such relationships, preserving their energy for those who genuinely value it. Real kindness respects both the giver and the receiver. If someone is exploiting your kindness, they're not receiving it sincerely, they're abusing it. Stoicism teaches that virtues should be practiced wisely, and kindness without boundaries leads to exhaustion, frustration, and resentment, all obstacles to peace. If a relationship repeatedly leaves you feeling drained, it's a sign to step back and realign with Stoic wisdom. Limiting interactions with kindness exploiters also opens space for meaningful relationships, ones that value your kindness as a shared connection rather than a resource. When we focus on these balanced relationships, giving becomes natural and fulfilling. Instead of giving from obligation or guilt, we give from a genuine desire to connect. This shift, in turn, nurtures our own sense of peace and well-being, aligning with the Stoic goal of living in harmony. In setting boundaries, we're not just protecting our energy, but affirming our worth. We're saying, I deserve relationships that respect my kindness, not ones that exploit it. This quiet strength, this calm boundary setting, is an embodiment of Stoic philosophy, treating kindness as a gift, one that respects both ourselves and those we truly want to support. Number 3. The disrespectful. The disrespectful person, whether subtly or overtly, disregards your boundaries, values, or worth. They might make snide remarks, dismiss your ideas, or ignore your boundaries, reflecting a lack of respect. Stoic philosophy values respect as essential to meaningful relationships. Marcus Aurelius emphasized honoring both ourselves and others, recognizing that dignity should be mutual. When someone fails to uphold this, Stoicism encourages us to reassess their role in our lives, as respect cannot be demanded but should be freely given. Epictetus's advice to know who you are reminds us to protect our worth by not allowing anyone to make us feel less. Disrespect erodes self-esteem over time, often through a series of small dismissive acts. It could be a friend who interrupts, a family member who downplays achievements, or a colleague who takes credit for your ideas. These small instances accumulate, creating a sense of being undervalued. Instead of responding with resentment, Stoicism teaches us to recognize the disrespect and make conscious choices about relationships. Marcus Aurelius's reminder to be unlike him who performed the injury urges us not to retaliate, but to calmly distance ourselves from negativity. For Stoics, self-respect is non-negotiable, grounded in the belief that every individual has intrinsic value. Seneca advised seeking relationships that support and uplift, not those that undermine our efforts to live virtuously. Disrespectful people fail to see or honor our efforts, leaving us feeling diminished. Staying around them risks internalizing their low regard for us, but Stoicism teaches us that we can't control others, only our responses. When dealing with disrespect, a Stoic wouldn't retaliate, but instead assess the relationship with clarity. Epictetus emphasized accepting what we can't change and acting within our power, which includes distancing ourselves from those who undermine our peace. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It doesn't need to be dramatic, and Stoics believe in quiet, calm detachment, letting actions speak louder than words. By distancing, we assert, I know my worth, and I won't let anyone diminish it. This strength preserves our peace and dignity. Emotionally, distancing from someone we care about can be hard, but Stoics believe that love and respect must coexist. If someone is consistently disrespectful, they aren't valuing the relationship in a way that aligns with our sense of self-worth. Stepping back creates space for relationships that are respectful, supportive, and fulfilling. A Stoic accepts reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. If someone disregards our boundaries or values, we must recognize that we can't change them. We're here to honor our own dignity, not to convince others of our worth. By letting go of disrespectful people, we commit to a life that reflects respect, dignity, and kindness. Stoicism teaches that removing disrespectful influences reclaims our power and peace. By setting a standard for our lives, we attract people who respect and uplift us, creating a life filled with integrity and mutual respect. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, living with self-respect, surrounded by those who honor our worth, while holding firm to an unshakable sense of self. The wisdom of silent boundaries. Silent boundaries are a powerful tool in preserving our peace and energy without the need for confrontation or explanation. Stoic philosophy sees boundaries not as aggressive acts, but as quiet self-respect. Marcus Aurelius encouraged standing firm in our values, creating a personal space that aligns with who we are. Silent boundaries allow us to protect this space, letting us focus on what nurtures us while gently moving away from what doesn't. Epictetus taught that we can't control others, only our responses. Silent boundaries embody this by setting limits without the need to argue or justify. These boundaries don't require shutting people out, but instead are about choosing who we allow close to our inner lives. They aren't about punishing others, but maintaining our own tranquility, as Seneca noted, since we often suffer more in our minds than in reality. Practicing silent boundaries frees us from the responsibility of managing others' reactions, letting us focus on making decisions that support our peace. Silence, within Stoic wisdom, is active restraint, a choice to avoid unnecessary conflict, preserving our dignity and inner calm. Silent boundaries help us value our well-being more than others' expectations. Marcus Aurelius valued silence as a quiet strength, where choosing peace over chaos becomes an assertion of self-worth. We don't need to fight every battle. Some are won simply by not engaging. Silent boundaries are a testament to our value, asserting that we prioritize our peace over validation. They might mean not answering a stressful call, declining invitations that bring negativity, or limiting time with draining individuals. Each boundary is personal and aligns with our unique needs, respecting our energy and inner state. These boundaries also reveal who respects us. Those who accept them show genuine care, while those who resist highlight their own lack of respect. This quiet sorting leads us toward meaningful relationships with people who uplift rather than drain us. As Seneca advised, we should surround ourselves with those who make us better, and silent boundaries help us naturally gravitate toward these connections. Setting silent boundaries builds self-trust, freeing us from seeking permission to protect our peace. Marcus Aurelius saw each person as their own inner fortress, strongest when anchored in quiet confidence. Silent boundaries become a way of affirming self-respect, showing we care about our well-being, even if it's misunderstood by others. This sense of freedom allows us to act without needing external approval, a key to living according to our values. Practicing silent boundaries makes us more attuned to respecting others' boundaries too. Stoicism isn't just about space for ourselves, but also about valuing others' needs for peace. We learn to let go, granting freedom for others to live as they choose, fostering healthier relationships grounded in mutual respect. By setting silent boundaries, we redirect our energy from managing others' expectations to pursuing our goals and growth. Without the burden of explaining ourselves, we reclaim mental and emotional energy, freeing us to focus on our purpose, virtues, and self-understanding. In this way, silent boundaries become more than a relational tool. They reflect a commitment to living with clarity, intention, and self-respect. And remember this: true strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the quiet decisions, the silent boundaries, and the calm steps we take to protect our peace. By valuing your own journey, you're honoring the wisdom of the Stoics, choosing a life of purpose, clarity, and unshakable self-respect. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal and for joining me in this journey of growth and reflection. Be sure to check out one of the suggested videos on the screen for more insights to deepen your path. Until next time, stay grounded, stay resilient, and take care of the peace you've worked so hard to build.